You know, lately it feels like every headline is about division or something falling apart. But when I picked up To Rescue the American Spirit, it flipped that narrative on its head. The book asks a massive question. How do we actually hold a country together when it feels like everything's unraveling?
I love that it doesn't just pine for the good old days either. The authors really dig into history, not out of nostalgia, but to remind us that America's been through even rougher storms, and it's always about rediscovering what binds people rather than what breaks them apart.
Exactly. It's almost like the book is saying, look, chaos isn't new, but resilience is what gets you through it. It's more than a history lesson. It's a call to look backward for wisdom that actually helps us move forward.
And what stands out for me is how it's not just about leaders in fancy offices. The rescue, so to speak, is everyone's job, from presidents to regular folks. That makes the story feel both epic and super personal all at once.
Now, before we dive deeper, can we talk about the people behind the book for a second? Bret Baier brings years of covering politics. He's seen presidential transitions, military standoffs, the whole 9 yards.
His journalism background really shapes the book's style. It's crisp, clear, even cinematic at times, never stuffy. And with Whitney co-writing, they managed to turn dense history into something that feels almost like a movie you'd want to binge.
Totally. What cracks me up is it never feels partisan. Instead, they focus on perspective and principles. Their credibility comes from decades of watching power up close and sharing the very human side of those big moments.
I noticed that too. They pull off this balance where you get the facts, but you also get the heart. That blend is rare, especially when talking about something as loaded as American history.
So one of the big takeaways for me, the book really hammers home that true leadership isn't about loud speeches or chasing quick wins. It's about being steady when everyone else panics.
That's such a departure from today's obsession with viral moments and instant solutions. The examples they use, like community leaders who rebuild trust quietly, just by showing up day after day, actually feel relatable. It's leadership by consistency, not by drama.
You're right, and that's a tough message to sell in a world that rewards spectacle. But the book argues that real progress comes from endurance and patience, not just making noise. That mindset shift is huge.
Funny thing, I kept thinking about teachers during a school crisis. They're not on the front page, but by keeping kids calm and moving forward, they hold communities together. That's the same vibe the authors celebrate.
That actually reminds me of another theme: unity. The book is clear that unity doesn't mean everyone sees eye to eye. It's more about being committed to the same bigger goal.
Yeah, like in a workplace where people come from all sorts of backgrounds, but what connects them is the mission. The authors argue that's what can heal a fractured country, not erasing our differences, but finding what we can build together.
I found that so refreshing, especially now, when every disagreement feels like a war. Remembering that coexistence is less about consensus and more about commitment to the greater good is almost radical.
And it's such a practical message. Even just volunteering or joining a local cause can make you realize how powerful shared purpose can be, even when you disagree on everything else.
Switching gears a bit, something else that hit me was their focus on the moral side of leadership. The authors are pretty blunt. Power without ethics just doesn't hold up.
What surprised me most is how they back that up with examples like CEOs investing in cleaner tech, even when it's not the cheapest route. It's a real reminder that success isn't just about what you achieve, but how you get there.
Absolutely. And that feeds right into their point about resilience. The book keeps coming back to this idea that perseverance, not money or power, is what defines the American story.
I love how they show resilience through everyday people, not just leaders. Families rebuilding after disasters, communities picking up the pieces. It's not about big gestures, but the grit to keep going.
And that leads perfectly to maybe the most empowering message. The responsibility isn't just on politicians. The book makes it clear every citizen has a role in keeping democracy alive.
That really stuck with me because it reframes citizenship as something active like voting, volunteering, mentoring. These aren't small gestures. They're actually what keeps the whole experiment running.
It's a reminder that politics isn't just what happens on TV. It's in our neighborhoods, our daily choices basically. We all get a piece of the action, whether we realize it or not.
And the way the authors wrap it up, you feel like, hey, maybe rescuing the American spirit isn't so impossible after all if enough people show up, even in small ways.
So to bring it all home, the book isn't just about history. It's about using the past as a playbook for today. The idea is, the American spirit can be rescued, but it starts with courage, humility, and unity.
I keep coming back to that. The answers we're looking for might not be some brand new solution, they could be values we've just forgotten to practice. That feels strangely hopeful, don't you think?
Definitely. And if you're looking for a read that's more than just inspiring, quotes something that challenges how you think about leadership and community, this one's worth your time.
Couldn't agree more. Plus, if you finish the book feeling fired up, maybe that's the first step toward making things better, one tiny act at a time.